You've seen the news. Inventory's up, price reductions are up, inflation is high, and interest rates are rising. So when will the housing market crash? Will it? You know, I was reminded recently it's all about perspective when it comes to real estate. Now, I'm not talking about putting on rose-colored glasses and acting like everything's fine, but I'm talking about doing a deep dive beyond the headlines to see what the numbers are really telling us about the market in areas you might be interested in living in. Now, I'm going to share those with you, and then you can tell me, when will the housing market crash? Now remember, when we look at the monthly market update for July 2022, we're really looking at June's numbers because we get our numbers in arrears. We have to wait till the month closes out. And we look at 6 monthly market indicators. Tell us where the market's trending. And we're going to be looking at the counties of Arapahoe, Denver, Douglas, and Jefferson. And these are going to include single-family homes, townhomes, and condos. So basically residential living. Now the first one that I look at is weeks of inventory, because weeks of inventory speaks to supply and demand, a basic economic principle. Now for June, this number jumped up to 1.1 months supply, or basically 5 weeks of inventory available. That's a whopping 3 weeks more than what we've seen, my gosh, for the last 2 years, because it's always been stuck at 2 weeks. And it exceeded demand for the first time since June of 2022. Along with that, according to Redfin, price reductions, or as the agents like to say, price adjustments, are up 40%. That's all I looked at. You know, I think I'd be on that the housing market is crashing bandwagon. In fact, I might even be driving the bus. Have to still dig deeper for the whole story. Come on, let's keep going. Now the next thing I look at is new listings coming onto the market, because if you read the newspapers, it sounds like sellers are flooding the market with their houses. And the reality is, here in the Denver metro area, in those counties, it's actually down 3.4%. And I'm like, wait, what? Down? How can it be down? I thought there was more inventory. Well, it's really interesting when you look at it because it's a split market. If I look at single family houses, it's absolutely correct. It went up by 0.2%. So 0.2% more homes came on the market in June. But for townhomes and condos, those went down 6.1%. Now, along with looking at new listings that are coming on the market, I also look at what's going off the market in terms of under contracts or pendings. And that number for June, year over year, was down by 21%. It is the lowest it's been since May of 2020. And I believe this is reflective of the increase in interest rates, which means a higher mortgage payment. And of course, along with that, I also look at sold listings. And these were down 20% year over year for June. Now, as we move forward, here's where the numbers get interesting. Now, the next thing I look at is median home sale price. And for June of 2022, it went up 13%. Well, that's interesting, right? So that means we went from a $625,000 median sale price in 2021 to a $695,000 median sale price in June of 2022. And what's really interesting is the average sale to list price ratio was at 103%. Now, that's still down from the 106% sellers were getting back in June of 2021. Days in the market. This is how long is it on the market before it goes under contract? Well, in June, that jumped up to 5 days. Now, that's 1 day more than the 4 days we have seen for the last 2 years. You know, it's really all about perspective. Increased interest rates, slowing economy, increased inventory, increased price reductions. You know, it might seem like the buyer has the upper hand. And the news makes you believe that sellers are flooding the market and practically giving away their homes. The numbers really tell us a different story. Yes, the overheated demand for housing is slowing. Well, that was from 2020 when people were locked in their homes and realized that they no longer suited their lifestyle. Yes, we see the market correcting to a more balanced market. Meaning if you're a seller, overpricing your home will not work right now. But median sold home price is still 13%. Now that is less than the 21% I reported back in March. Still double-digit appreciation. The average sale price to list ratio is still 103%. Though inventory is much more than we've seen in the last 2 years, it's still 5% less than what we had in 2020, 36% less than what we had in 2019, and it's a whopping 80% less than what we need for a balanced market. You know, while recessionary fears abound and real estate challenges affordability, it still continues to show strength as we move forward. Millennials are our largest buying group right now. Nationally, they sit at 66 million. And baby boomers are choosing to age in place. And thanks to the increased equity over the last last few years, even challenged homeowners have options. So when will the housing market crash? If you're thinking this is going to be like another 2008, I just don't see it. How about you? What are you seeing? What are your thoughts? I'd love to read them. Go ahead and put them down in the comment down below. And if you love data and graphs and numbers and poring over them, I've got a great report for you. It's the June 2022 Market Report. Click on the link in the box below and download it for yourself. I hope you enjoy it. Bottom line, if you're thinking about buying in the next 5 years, now might be your opportunity. Because competition has decreased, housing prices aren't going down, and interest rates, though they've adjusted right now, might still continue to increase. If you're thinking about selling in the next 5 years, now might be your opportunity before increased interest rates decrease the buyer pool for your house. Oh, by the way, my name is Peggy Dursthoff, and I'm a realtor with HomeSmart here in the Denver metro area, and I specialize in suburban living. And if you're thinking about making a move, let's get the conversation started. You can call, text, or email me. All of my information is down below. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you next week.